A Student's Reality of Studying with Autism by Yasmin Reeve. Welcome to my blog post. I'm a student with Open University, studying towards my sports fitness and coaching degree. I'm a student who is neurodivergent. More specifically, I'm a student with autism. I decided to write a blog post to reach out to other students who are also studying whilst autistic, to give a bit of hope that it is possible to complete your study and share some of the things that I have learned over the past 3 years which have really helped me to get through. I also hope that any staff who are reading this blog will get a better understanding of what it's like for some students to be studying whilst autistic. My diagnosis. I didn't get my diagnosis of autism till I was an adult. I always knew that something was different about me, but it wasn't until a complete mental health breakdown, which led to me being sectioned, that people picked it up. The system is long to get a diagnosis through the NHS, so I saved up money to get a private diagnosis, and I have to admit it was the best thing I could have done in order to help me better understand myself as an individual and my needs, to help me better cope in this world. Things still aren't perfect, and I still have my battles. However, I've learnt to cope with things better and advocate for myself. Returning to education. When it came to me deciding to get back into education, I knew that a brick university and in person wouldn't work for me, so finding out about Open University was the way for me to gain further qualifications. I didn't have to cope with seeing people face to face, all the noise, distraction environments, sticking to timings that may not work with my routines, and risk having a meltdown in front of loads of other students/staff. With Open University, I make it fit in around my own life. If I want to study in my sensory room, then I can. If I want to study at my desk, it's ready and waiting. If I want to sit on my sofa under a weighted blanket, then that's not an issue. No one can see me. I make Open University work for me rather than making me work around the university. DSA were a great help when I told them about my autism. It was a case of discussing how my autism affects me, and the assessor was really good about helping me figure out the positives of my autism. I won't say that it wasn't also difficult to be really open and honest about the issues that came up because of my autism. I don't like to see my autism as a negative, so when I'm in a situation where it's vital for me to discuss the difficulties, it can be hard. I came away from the meeting with the assessor and actually felt quite good about myself, which I really didn't expect. I am a big advocate that whilst my autism does have many negative impacts on my life, I see the strengths in my autism. I am a creative thinker. I can pick out lots of specific detail. I notice things in life that other people don't notice. I'm open and honest with people and always punctual. DSA were able to work out what would help me get through my study and gave me choices about what help I wanted. They also reassured me not to hesitate to get back in contact with them if things change or I need more support. My routine. I like to start the academic year as soon as the module website opens. My modules actually start in October. However, normally I can have access to it from September. This is key for me. I get to look through everything and sort out my structure. I plan what days I'm going to study which module. I add in TMA/ICMA dates into calendars, plan which notebooks I want for each module, what colours I will use for each module. I thrive on routine, so I make up that routine ready for the official start. As soon as tutorial dates are up, I get booked onto them, and again, the tutorials are placed into my calendars. I ensure that I know what I'm going to be studying over the coming year. Then I look back over my needs profile to see if anything needs updating, and if it does, I get in touch with student support so that the profile is all correct. The next thing I do is get in touch with my tutor/tutors. I like to introduce myself to them and point out about my needs profile to them. In the email, I give the really key points that they need to know about me to be able to support me more effectively throughout the year. They know my preference on contact as well. Once all of this is done, it's a case of taking a pause and knowing that I am ready. Sometimes I find it difficult waiting for that first tutor response because you don't always get a quick reply. That's not because the tutor is ignoring you, it's that they have their own lives too. They also aren't required to meet the same deadlines as when the module has officially begun, so be patient, they will get back to you. Your tutor and tutor group. Your tutors are a vital part of studying with Open University. They are the first point of contact for you as a student. I have found when a tutor is aware of the extra needs you may have, they try their very best to help to meet those needs. Things can change at any point, so having that regular contact makes it easier if you need to contact the tutor because of a struggle. As a student, if we haven't told the tutors something we need, we can't be mad at that tutor if they aren't meeting our needs. Try to advocate for yourself. You're doing it to benefit yourself. I also think that tutors do genuinely care about their students, would rather be told what is needed than for you to struggle through the module and them not be aware. As a student learning independently, sometimes it's hard. I often find myself sat questioning if what I've read or watched I have a full understanding of, and this is where your tutor group forums can be a great space to test your knowledge and you get to communicate with other students. Get posting in that tutor group forum as soon as you can. I know that it can be a really difficult to post in it, and it can be scary, but the sooner you do it, the sooner you'll realise it's a brilliant space to boost your own learning. Tutors are also a part of the forum, so tutors can respond to you on the forum page. Tutorials are also a really great space to help gain further understanding and help prepare you for TMAs/ICMAs. When I first started, tutorials were one of the biggest things that I was nervous about, but they aren't that bad. At the start of the tutorial, the tutor will explain ways that you can interact with the tutorial if it's online. There's a chat box function, which tutors keep an eye on whilst going through the tutorial. Some tutors also offer up the option of raising a virtual hand and then letting you come in over the microphone. Tutorials are a great way to interact with other students. Tutorials are another way to boost your own learning. Feedback on TMAs is another thing that I also find extremely difficult. So I've come up with a few strategies to help this. The moment I get the email through to say that marks are available, my heart skips a few beats, and I don't even want to load up the results page. I decide on a time that I will look at what my score was, normally a time when I am at my calmest. I have some fidget items to help with the nerves, and load up the results page to see my score. Then I like to open the assessment summary. In this space, the tutor will mention the good things about your TMA, what you've missed, mentioning in order to get higher marks and some areas for improvement. It can be really easy to only focus on the things that weren't quite right on the TMA, so I find it useful at this point to come away from it. Then, the next day, I relook at it and open up my actual TMA to see the specific points the tutor has documented on the TMA. My next step is to print off somewhere the key things that my tutor has said to me to work on for the next TMA and place it somewhere visible and do my best to work on that for the next TMA. If something doesn't make sense, reach out to your tutor to ask them to explain further detail what doesn't make sense. My recommendations. If you're a new student starting out with Open University, I highly recommend heading over to Open Learn and completing the Being an OU Student course. This is what helped prepare me to study and know what to expect of my study. Open Learn has so many different courses that are free, so I like to use Open Learn when I'm not studying through my summer break so that I can still stick to my routines. This helps to make it less daunting when it gets round to officially studying again. It is a challenge to study with autism, but it's completely achievable to reach your goals with the correct support to help you along the way. An Open University and DSA have been fantastic at helping me get through my study. There have been days when I've thought, I cannot do this, I should quit now. But there's people you can reach out to, other students, student support and tutors who are there to support you. If you're struggling, reach out for that support. Keep striving to achieve those goals. And when challenges get in your way, know that you have a 100% success rate at making it through challenges so far. You're not alone when studying with autism. There are so many other students who can relate to the challenges.